Actually, before we get started and jumping in, let's actually talk for a moment about planning it out and when you should do this. Well, that's going to be up to you, obviously. But I'm here in Central Ohio, Johnstown, Ohio, actually, and it's Mother's Day 2022. And a couple things to think about. It's warm today and it's lightly breezy. You don't want a breezy day, you don't want a windy day, or that pool cover is going to come right out of your hands and it's going to create problems. Also, another thing I'm thinking about is I've got a flowering crabapple here, right? And it's done. The flowers came all down this week. You can probably see them all over my lawn, right? So once the trees are clear of flowers that are going to get in and plug up my plumbing system, well, they're not going to be that bad. But I'd rather not deal with the hassle. So another thing to think about, I've got 4 days in a row coming up this week that are going to be high 70s and the 80s. So immediately I'm going to be able to get this thing open. The sun's shining on it and probably picking that temperature up of that pool water by 5 or 6 degrees a day over the next couple of days. So let's get going. Well, of course, the first thing we got to do is drain the water off the pool cover. And here comes my first plug. I got this pump off Amazon. It was, I don't know, between 40 and 50 bucks. It's called Agiman 2. And the thing is, the way it was packed, this tubing wasn't crushed. It's been wide open because look at this. Look at the flow coming out of here. That's quite rapid. I did have a pool cover pump a couple of years ago. It was a siphon, right? It was a disc I would throw in here and you'd siphon it off. And the way that was packaged, the tubing was crushed like this. And I never really got it fully opened. So I could never get a good flow of the water coming out of here. So this is going to come off pretty quickly. As you can see, the nice thing, it has a little bit of weight. So it sinks a little bit to start making water pool around it. And don't forget too, to kind of assist the process to try to get it as dry as possible. If you can, I got a position where I can lift up, right? I can lift this thing up and start directing more water down into the, down towards the pump when it starts getting shallow. So that's the first step. Let's get this water off here. Perhaps another consideration for this pump, a little contraption. My wife, she's always great, full of great ideas, but we're taking this hose. Our yard is trash drain. I mean, we are soaked from tons of rain the last 5 days. But look, I just put the hose into this. It's not a total seal, but it's a garden hose, right? And now that hose fits perfectly inside a garden hose by about 3 or 4 inches, and that's just running way off to the corner of my lot to prevent a lot of extra wetness up here around the pool. You know, while this drains, let's talk a moment about pool covers. First of all, it's entirely optional. You don't have to put a pool cover on. This is my first year with this one here. They don't last very long. I've noticed in the past couple years, the warranty's gone from like 30 years down to 5 with prorated after 1 or something. So certainly don't buy an expensive one. I didn't like the year that I didn't do a pool cover because just a lot of crap, right? At least I didn't get an algae bloom, but sticks and leaves, and it took a couple of days. You had to get into the pool, right? So the thing is, how do I open this pool without getting in it and just getting the water good and clean with sunlight coming down on it? So again, a cover is an optional thing. We'll see if I can get 3 or 4 years out of this. I think I paid 75, 80 bucks for this one. Don't get an expensive one. The thing is, it didn't stretch so much that it got holes in it, right? Because you got to drain it. You got to drain this thing through the course of the winter, and that's why I love this pump over here. It's going to do so much better job than those siphon pumps that I used before. But you don't want to drain it all the way in the winter, right? In the winter and early spring, you want to keep a puddle of about 4 or 5 inches deep as weight to hold this tarp, this cover down in those high winds of the spring. But again, an optional purchase. I like it because hopefully when I pull this up, it's going to be crystal clear blue water underneath there. We'll find out shortly. Here's a close-up of that pump. So I'm just going to get grip behind a little bit of slack and just give it a toss. And there we go. Just plug it back in and finish this quadrant up, and then I'll just be about done. You know, one discovery I made with this pump, as it nears the end, if you can just get it to stand up a little bit. Let's try this. Pull it a little closer. See, it pulls the puddle towards itself. And then I'm going to do this one-handed. There we go. I got it standing up. Check it out. It's going to just suck all the rest of it up. Working like a charm. Happy purchase. Well, now it's time to get the cover off. And you know what? This actually did the trick. Just this cable, right? If you look at that cable that came with it. 1 year I tried clips. Joke. Waste of money. Clips that went on here, went around, they popped off. Half at least haven't popped off out through the winter, and stretched out, they would never go back. So 1 year usage. Let's try to get this off. I've got gloves, right? Eye protection, because in case this snaps. So we're gonna push this lever up here to unlock those gears. And what am I doing? Unraveling here, I think? Sure, to loosen. And it's probably gonna come apart, and it's gonna have to be rethreaded for next fall. But if I keep that open, here we go, it's loosening. Get those through there, and that's, you can see how that's gonna finish from here. Perfect. All right, now let's get this beast off. Well, obviously it's a two-person job. My wife's over here, I'm here. Just want to take it over the edge and just, let's go. Come off smoothly. We're trying to get it even with that quickly, right? Ain't rocket science, but I still have that cable. Oh my goodness, you should see what I see, people. You should see what I see. Come on around there, take a look at that water. Go in and look at that water, Pete. And you can see the contraption here underneath that kept that cover on top the entire winter and spring. Do you know what the next step is? If you said get the hose in here right away and get water flowing immediately, you're right, let's do that.